Now at 9, the votes for the House are in, what this means for Trump's presidency.
And President Biden met with President-elect Trump. Find out what they talked about.
And Jim Davis makes a stop at Ball State to talk about Garfield.
And inflation was on a steady decline, but has hit a recent bump. Find out what this means coming up.
And I will be tracking the cool down as well as the rainy weather on the way. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Amelia Winter.
And I'm Max Robson.
Republicans will now have control of the House of Representatives. CNN is projecting that Republicans will retain control of the House of Representatives. The GOP's victory came after Republicans were projected to hold 2 House seats in California and Arizona. This gives Republicans a sweep of the federal government with control of the White House and majorities in both chambers of Congress. President-elect Donald Trump will now have a path to enact an agenda that could profoundly change America. The question now will be how large next year's House majority becomes and whether the GOP can widen the margin of a handful of seats.
President-elect Donald Trump met with President Joe Biden this week to discuss a peaceful transition of power. President Biden welcomed his predecessor and now successor, President-elect Donald Trump, to the Oval Office Wednesday. Biden called for a smooth transition in brief remarks at the top of their meeting. Trump echoed Biden's call for a smooth transition. The two men continued their meeting behind closed doors and did not take questions. It's tradition for the outgoing president to host the incoming commander-in-chief following the election as part of a peaceful transfer of power. Trump did not host Biden in 2020 as he fought the election results.
A pair of U.S. guided missile destroyers successfully repelled multiple Iranian-backed Houthi attacks Monday. Pentagon spokesman Major General Pat Ryder says 8 one-way drones and 5 anti-ship ballistic missiles unsuccessfully targeted the destroyers.
This targeted operation was conducted in response to the Houthis' repeated and unlawful attacks on international commercial shipping, as well as U.S. coalition and merchant vessels in the Red Sea, Bab al-Mandeb Strait, and the Gulf of Aden. It also aimed to degrade the Houthis' ability to threaten regional partners.
No U.S. vessels were damaged and no personnel were hurt. The U.S. performed strikes on Yemen targets over the weekend, including several weapons storage facilities used by the Iranian-supported rebel group.
After 6 months of a steady downward trend, inflation has hit a bump in the road. A new index out this morning, and one watched closely by the Federal Reserve, shows the prices consumers pay for most goods and services ticked up a little last month. One economic expert says this inflation hiccup could pale in comparison to what's ahead under a new administration. Laura Aguirre reports.
The Consumer Price Index out this morning from the Labor Department shows a 0.2% rise last month, which is a 2.6% increase year over year. The October reading is also a slight step back from the Fed's long-held goal of 2%.
Our policy stance, strength in the economy and the labor market can be maintained, with inflation moving sustainably down to 2%.
Chairman Jerome Powell announced another quarter-point drop last week, right after the presidential election.
We've learned from the election just how toxic inflation and high prices and high interest rates are to the American people.
Economist Larry Summers served as Treasury Secretary in the Clinton administration and is the former director of the National Economic Council.
The Fed has been in too much of a hurry to cut interest rates and much too much of a hurry to promise future interest rate cuts.
While Summers has concerns about the pace of Powell's strategy, many consumers had been waiting for a drop in rates to make things like homes, vehicles, and credit cards less expensive. Taking a closer look at the CPI numbers, energy costs appeared to stay steady after a string of recent monthly declines. Used vehicle prices jumped 2.7%, and airline fares also climbed 3.2%. One drop in something most of us use every week, gas prices, down nearly 0.1 of a percentage point across all fuel types. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Digging into the Consumer Price Index numbers a bit more, energy costs appeared to stay steady after a string of recent monthly declines. The cost of shelter was up 0.4%, used vehicle prices jumped 2.7%, and airline fares climbed 3.2%. One drop in something most of us use every week: gas prices down nearly 1/10 of a percentage point across all fuel types.
And with this colder weather coming up, I don't even want to get out of my car to pump gas. Like, I gotta put on a winter jacket. I'm really nervous.
Yeah, it's my least favorite thing to do, especially in the wintertime.
Yes, for sure. Well, Olivia's gonna give us a quick look at weather.
So unfortunately, this cool weather is here to stay for now. It is currently 52 degrees in Muncie, 51 degrees in Indianapolis. We can see some warmer temperatures out to the west, but unfortunately, we're pretty much going to be cooling down from here on out. We are experiencing some rainfall that's coming into the area. We can see here the green and yellow, moderate rainfall in some areas, and that's in front of a cold front that'll be making its way through the area, bringing rainfall and lots of clouds. More in my full weather.
Thank you, Olivia. Muncie legend Jim Davis was on campus today to talk to students at a viewing of the new Garfield movie. The event was hosted through Ball State School of Fine Arts and worked to share Davis's insights and experiences throughout his career. Davis was pleased with the turnout of the event and was inspired by the attitude of young artists. Davis said, "I'm glad that the people who've been following Garfield have adopted the new generations of Garfield, the new looks, styles, and stuff like that."
The holiday season is coming in full swing, and it seems that Santa decided to visit Winchester a little early. NewsLink reporter Andy Zalia takes a look at what it took to make the magic happen.
It seems that Christmas has come early this year in Winchester, Indiana. Thanks to the nonprofit Start With Art, photographer Devin Jones, North Block Coffee, and Father Christmas himself. Charlene Kehoe, the founder of Start With Art, has expressed the goals behind the program.
Our goal is to teach children healthy coping skills through arts and crafts, as well as collaborate with other artists and small businesses in the community.
The program started back in June. During that time, there have been around 40 classes with about 400 people participating. Kehoe also works with other nonprofits and companies who help kids of the community. The reasoning behind starting the program is because of her daughter, Avery Kehoe.
I have a teenage daughter that struggles with mental health, and we had a conversation, and she told me that she wished that every child had a parent that did arts and crafts with them like I did, and it kind of turned into what it is now.
Start With Art wasn't the only one putting on this event. With the help of Devin Jones taking care of photography, the workers of North Block Coffee handing out refreshments, and Jason Kinred as Papa Yule, there was something for everyone. Father Christmas sat and listened attentively as the kids told him what they wanted for Christmas, and even explained the reasons spreads joy through Start With Art.
So, a long time ago, Santa used to work for the Indiana Department of Child Services, and he wanted to give back to the kids of his state that way, and he did that for a little while, and then he went along back up to the North Pole to do some other stuff, and he really enjoys giving kids this opportunity just to be a kid and have a good memory, a good core memory that they can take with them.
With Kehoe's ambitions, she will continue to work hard to give the kids of Winchester wonderful memories. In Winchester, Andy Zelaya, NewsLink, Indiana.
Start With Art is always looking for volunteers. Go to their Facebook page at Start With Art for more information.
Coming up, McDonald's continues to face a rise in E. coli cases.
And find out why Lunchables are facing a school recall.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do,
when you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Welcome back. The number of E. coli cases tied to the McDonald's Quarter Pounder has surpassed 10. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has reported 104 illnesses, which include 34 hospitalizations and 1 death. The source of the bacteria is thought to be the silvered onions used on the burger. They were recalled last month. The CDC says those onions would also be past their shelf life by now, so the risk of new infections is low. However, that doesn't mean the number of cases won't rise. It can take weeks to determine whether an illness is part of an outbreak.
Parents, listen up. Your child's favorite Lunchables will no longer be a menu item at schools around the United States. Kraft Heinz announced yesterday it will remove the meal kits from the National School Lunch Program. The American multinational food company pulled the product because the demand did not reach its target. The decision comes after Consumer Reports tested school versions of grocery store snacks. According to the CDC, too much sodium can raise blood pressure and increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. However, none of the meal kits exceeded any federal limit. The National School Lunch Program is federally assisted and provides low-cost and free balanced lunches to nearly 30 million students.
A Chipotle shareholder is suing the chain over viral social media complaints about skimpy portion sizes. The proposed class action lawsuit filed Monday claims Chipotle understated customer dissatisfaction. They detailed, quote, highly inconsistent portion sizes in the suit. The lawsuit cited that a Wells Fargo analyst ordered 75 burrito bowls to test portion sizes and found that the consistency of the portions varied widely. Customers suggest that the chain is downsizing portions without lowering prices and cutting down on quality.
General Motors is recalling 460,000 diesel vehicles because of a transmission issue. According to the National High Traffic Safety Administration, the A transmission valve can wear down over time and cause rear wheels to lock up. This could increase the risk for a crash. 24 different 2020 through 2022 models are subject to the recall. They include certain GMC trucks and SUVs, as well as multiple Chevrolet and Cadillac models. Dealers will install new transmission control module software free of charge. Owners will be notified by mail.
And I will be tracking the cool down as well as rainy temperatures in my full weather.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try to teach them. When they learn something new and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
When tornadoes touched down in parts of our viewing area, NewsLink Indiana kept you informed days in advance.
You do need to be seeking shelter.
Marginal risk of severe weather.
And days after.
The roof has been ripped completely
off of this house.
Giving you a first-hand look at the communities affected.
When your neighbors lose their house and you don't, how lucky you are.
The first to alert you of severe weather before it happens. NewsLink Indiana Weather.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember you threw your back out. How you holding up? Hand me that board. Nothing wrong with getting help. I'm good. I did it when Felicia left. I'll figure it out. I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying. If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence? Now you need my help. It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that? Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back. It's currently 9:15 and you are taking a live look outside of the Cooper Science Building here on campus. And it's looking a little wet and rainy and cold out there, and Olivia's going to give us a look at your weather.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is quite gloomy and cold out there. We can see these above average temperatures slowly making their way up into our area, and that will continue because it is fall now. I know some people are sad about that, but it's time for fall. We're currently at 52 degrees in Muncie, 51 down in Indianapolis. Some warmer temperatures out in the southwest, but we're going to be cooling down as this cold front comes through. And along with that, we are going to see some rainfall, some moderate showers this evening, and winds gusting up to 26 miles per hour. So be aware of that if you're out and about this evening. And going into tomorrow morning, we can see those 23 mile per hour gusts will continue before dying down just a little bit. And temperatures will stay mild in the mid 50s, upper 50s by 5 p.m. That'll be around the high for tomorrow. So this cool temperature range will continue for now. We can see the cold front out in the Great Plains region. That's bringing all of this precipitation into the area. We can see some orange and yellow showers. Those are the more moderate showers that will be in our area. We should see some accumulation up to about a little under an inch of accumulation, which is much needed because we have been in this drought for quite some time now. And we can see along with this system a lot of cloud cover making its way. So unfortunately, these gloomy conditions will continue. The rainy, cool weather, it's all going to last until about Friday afternoon. We will have a little bit of clearing, but still quite windy for now. We can see as this is kind of the wind graphic, and as that moves through, we're going to have those gusts, and at about Thursday evening, we will have the gustiest conditions before they move out of the way, and the winds will turn northwest and die down just a little bit before clearing out of the way Friday evening, when it'll finally be more calm. And looking at the next 7 days here, we can see Thursday, tomorrow, definitely some rainfall, definitely some showers, and then we'll have a little bit of a break for Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday, more rainfall coming through the area before mostly cloudy skies will take over and a bit warmer temperatures, which is kind of a good sign for this weekend, but it looks like we're going to cool back down going into next week.
Yeah, and we're finally getting that weather, though, that we've been needing for a while because it's been hot and then cold, but we're finally getting that fall weather. It's finally here.
Personally, I would love the summer weather back. I am not a fan of this weather whatsoever. It just, brings on sickness, it brings on the snow.
Yes, true.
It is quite sad, but I do like having the 4 seasons. I don't like jumping from, summer to winter.
True.
A little bit of fall is
most definitely, because
nice.
then it also brings in these new sports because, during the summer it's baseball season, it's a little bit more football season in the spring, but now it's indoor sports. We're going to be able to see all the basketball, women's basketball and men's basketball this year.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Yeah, the weather is able to bring out more, and people can get inside and not always just stay outside. Well, thank you so much, Olivia. There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Jack Farrar has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Max and Amelia. 2 Ball State athletic teams flew into action last night, while the Indianapolis Colts are making a drastic change to their depth chart. All this and more next in sports.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
There's gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed. But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality.
Oh,
Look, it's got eyebrows. Ooh.
My lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jack Farrar with sports. Yesterday, Ball State women's volleyball took on Miami of Ohio inside Worthen Arena. The Cardinals would take the first set 25-16, the second set 25-20, and the third set 25-19 to get a straight set sweep and win. The victory sees the Cardinals improve their record to 19 wins and 8 losses, while Miami slips to a record of 7 wins and 20 losses. The Cardinals extend their win streak to 9 games and are currently third in the MAC. Head coach Kelly Miller-Phillips knew what factors would help keep the win streak alive. One of those being senior Megan Wielonski's increasing her serving leader stat.
Yeah, I mean, just my serve has been something that I've always taken a lot of pride in and just kind of had the go-get-it mentality.
Good news is I feel like we played Miami before, so we have a little bit of an idea, what their personnel is from, a couple weeks ago when we played them.
Ball will play against Western Michigan next, inside Worthen Arena on Friday, November 15th. To pass it to the gridiron, Ball State football flew to Buffalo for some Tuesday action. This offensive barrage took longer than 4 quarters to find the victor. The Cardinals took the 5-4 Buffalo Bulls to overtime, falling just short with a final score of 48-51. Despite the loss, many Cardinals were able to shine while in Buffalo. Quarterback Caden Samanza eclipsed 300 yards, finishing with 327 yards and 4 touchdowns, 2 of which were hauled in by junior wide receiver Justin Bowick. Bowick finished the game with 148 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 7 receptions. Tight end Tanner Koziol was able to keep up his historic season for Ball State, tallying 11 receptions, on top of finding the end zone and hauling in 95 receiving yards. Despite this loss, the Cardinals' offense remains a bright spot for this team ahead of their next matchup against Bowling Green on November 23rd. To keep things on the field, the Indianapolis Colts are once again making a switch at quarterback. Today, head coach Shane Steichen announced Anthony Richardson will be taking over as the starting quarterback for veteran Joe Flacco. What seemed to be an exit ramp for the development of the 22-year-old is now looking like more of a rest stop. Richardson kicked off the season a little rocky, finishing dead last in completion percentage in the NFL. Steichen reportedly said Richardson has made great strides in those areas in his game, and they plan on starting him for the remainder of the season. To keep things in the NFL, the homes of Kansas City Chiefs stars Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce were broken into last month. According to multiple news outlets, the first break-in happened on October 6th in Lock Lloyd, Missouri, where Mahomes lives. The second break-in is believed to have occurred the next day at Kelce's home in Leawood, Kansas. According to the police report, $20,000 in cash was stolen from Kelce's home. There was also $1,000 worth of damage done. Mahomes spoke on this situation, stating, "I can't speak too much about the details of everything, but I'm sure at one point that will all be talked about." Now, guys, wrapping back to women's volleyball, no matter what sport you're in D1, I think it's extremely impressive to go on a win streak like they are. So what do you guys think?
Oh, yeah, I mean, most definitely. I know it'll be a little bit tougher going up against Western Kentucky. They're won the MAC last year, but I'm really excited to see if we can keep the streak going.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it all turns out for them. Well, thank you so much, Jack. Coming up, find out what musicians will be added to the Music Hall of Fame.
And we have one final look at your weather.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. The Songwriters Hall of Fame is preparing to induct new members. Eminem, Alanis Morissette, Steve Winwood, and Sheryl Crow are among the nominees who are also performers. Some of the non-performing songwriters also nominated include Mike Chapman, Sonny Curtis, and Dennis Lambert. The Hall of Fame will honor the winners next year at the organization's induction and awards gala, which will be held in New York City. REM, Steely Dan, and Dean Pitchford were among those welcomed into the 2024 class. And that's a wide variety of singers and non-performers who were inducted or are being inducted. It's pretty impressive. And Sheryl Crow, I haven't heard her name in a hot minute, so it'll be exciting to see all that.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the one name that's probably most known, Eminem. I mean,
yes.
he had a while where he kind of was going off on a different route, and he came back with like the return of Slim Shady, and honestly, I really enjoyed that album. So.
Me too. Well, we're gonna have one final look at your weather with Olivia.
Thanks, guys. So looking at the next 7 days, we can see tomorrow will be rainy and breezy with temperatures in the upper 50s and lows in the mid 40s. And then by Sunday, 60 degrees, we're going to warm up just a little bit with some rainy and cloudy conditions before cooling down a little bit going into next week.
Thank you, Olivia. And before we go, we have one special goodbye tonight. Is weather forecaster Olivia Smithers' last show with us.
Olivia has been with NewsLink for 3 years, being a part of our weather team. Olivia, take it away.
Thanks, guys. So I remember I came into NewsLink my sophomore year. I've been here for 3 years, and I was so nervous, and I've just come to love it. I've learned to love the experience, and really just all my mentors and everyone I've worked with have really shown me how to become more confident, and yeah, it's just been really awesome. All these forecasters and producers and the production team and writers, everyone is just so wonderful here, and it's been awesome, and I'm gonna miss it. It's quite bittersweet leaving, but it's what we all have to do, you know?
Yeah, that's true. We're excited to see what you do in the future.
Thank you.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page and YouTube channel.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.